Okay, you're all set.
Very good, thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Cheney?
Here.
Trustee Foster?
Here.
Mayor Newhart?
Here.
Trustee Calora?
Here.
Isabel Hayes?
Here.
And Trustee McKnight is absent.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept the minutes of July 6th, 2026?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to accept the following reports: June 2026 Clerk's Office and Tax Collection Report, Treasurer's Statement of Revenue and Expenditures, Justice Department, Planning Department, and Building Department. All reports are on file at the Clerk's Office.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second, I would like to make a comment, though.
Yes.
I see that the DPW reports are missing,
Okay.
so I would assume that when they're prepared and provided, they'd be distributed.
Absolutely. They should be public and they should be at the next meeting. You know, I mean, they can be distributed early, but I think that they should also be part of the record.
When I receive them,
Yeah,
I'll forward them.
thank you. Okay, so we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And authorization to pay all approved and audited claims in the amount of $223,832.54.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Police reports.
So we need them. Just a couple things. As we just hit on, the graduation for the first session of the Junior Police Academy is this Friday. We have 10 cadets in this class. Then the next class starts up in 2 weeks. And that one has 25. So
That's great.
we're roughly, I would say we've roughly done about 240, 250 since we started this in 2022.
Wow.
Cadets that have gone through it. We're just about finalized on all our plans for National Night Out. And we also just received notice from Senator Skoufis's office that we'll receive another $10,000 grant for next year's event.
That's
already.
fantastic.
The event lives on. The renovations that I told you about last month are in the next phase now, which was the moving of our communications division temporarily out of their room. Temporary is probably gonna be 4 to 6 weeks. They're gonna be kind of operating in a alternate room. During that time, we're going to lock the front door of the station, but we have an video intercom system and a buzzer.
Mhm.
So just because there'll be nobody to see anybody coming in, it'll alert them. So we're just gonna need the public's patience
Mhm.
during the next 4 to 6 weeks for these growing pains, but it'll be well worth it when it's done. And then over the last 4 to 6 weeks, our detectives have held informational meetings with the different Warwick senior groups. We did the Warwick Valley Senior Citizens and also the Warwick Golden Seniors. We have one more to go out in Pine Island, so as our tradition, besides talking to them about scams and other crimes that are targeted towards the senior citizens, we also provide a barbecue lunch for them.
That's very
So
kind.
It works out by all, but trying to protect the seniors and keeping them from these scams is one of our top priorities. And I
It's so
believe-
heartbreaking when you hear, you know, of somebody that lost thousands of dollars or, you know, that,
Oh, we've had people lose their entire life
yeah.
savings.
In Warwick?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you say is the frequency of that? Like, how often is it happening?
It's hard to really put a gauge on that because many are afraid to report. You know, they're embarrassed, they're afraid to face their families about it. You know, they're vulnerable. The older they get, they become more vulnerable to these scams. When they're talking to the person on the other end of the phone, that person, you know, part of the script is to give it that sense of urgency, that this has to be done now, and they react. So, there's, one's too many, but there's been many. I could probably get you some hard data on that, but, you know, the local businesses have been educated as well, and they do pick up on when a senior citizen is trying to ship money, buy gift cards, or all the different ways that they've got to take their savings, so.
In the business environment, we're also having situations where people are using like AI video and voice call to, like my company, they had a fake, well, our CEO call one of our finance directors to try to get them to spend money, like to ship money somewhere. And so, and they were like very urgent about it. And so they were trying to get the information, and then they ended up calling him separately and realized it was a scam.
There's very few things that have that level of urgency, especially over the phone, that they just can't. I've had several just to my phone, and you can see where it ramps up, and you get to a point where you gotta make a decision, and the best decision is to hang up
Yeah.
and call the police. Absolutely, you know, right away. We'll be more than happy to talk them through it. If they did take it too many steps too far, then we'll help them with the identity theft side of it and try to protect them that way. We have, on very rare occasions, been able to intercept if it's reported early enough, but that it's difficult, and it's usually overseas.
Wow.
The confidence game, right?
It is. Like I said, they bring it up to this level of urgency, whether it's their virus software on their computer all the way to a grandchild that's been arrested and needs bail money right away. And that grandchild is, you know, safe, and they don't give you the opportunity to even call and make sure unless you hang up.
Yeah.
So we're trying to reach out to them and get them to trust us as much that if they have a question, you know, come down right away or call us, and we'll send someone out to their house.
That's
Yeah.
great. I'm
Thanks
glad
for-
you're doing that. That outreach is really critical, especially to our seniors.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
that's all I
Yeah,
have.
thank
Unless
you.
you have any
Thank you.
questions or anything?
Yeah, on a less somber note, Trustee Kalura had an excellent idea relative to the new Rotary that is going to be going in at some time in the future, and reaching out to the senior citizen groups to kind of help work them through and understand how that works. And so when in discussing it with her, we thought that it would be helpful to have the police department be part of that.
Absolutely.
Like roundabout
Activity.
training?
Yeah.
Probably more
Roundabout
than seniors that
Yeah.
need.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know,
sure.
But-
and it's like on the way to the grocery store. So the
Right.
idea is like to kind of set up cones and kind of walk through it. So when they drive through it, they have a better.
I like that idea. We'd be more than
idea.
happy to assist with that.
Okay. So the Rotary's not gonna happen until next year sometime, so I
We-
think we've got a
we have
little bit of time to plan and.
We do, but
Get
it's
ready.
definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
And along those lines of services, we created a police assistant position several months ago. One of our dispatchers, who's a retired New York City police detective, highly decorated, he was a part-time police officer with us for a while, and he went to part-time dispatch. He's gonna be basically a services coordinator for us.
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
So, and Barry can attest to the amount of services available in Orange County.
Yeah.
It basically fills 2 sheets of paper, they're different. So he's gonna be our face for the police department to each of these services. One of our priorities right now is autism. We participated in the special needs fair that was at the community center, where he was distributing the blue envelope program that's provided by the sheriff and the county clerk, where that's an envelope that's kept in the car of someone who is possibly on the spectrum, that if they're pulled over, they would hand that to the police officer, and it gives them all the information before something escalates.
That's fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And, we're looking at how we can provide some sort of outreach if we get calls to houses by knowing ahead of time what the situation is before we arrive. So
Having like a register.
we're looking at the ins and outs of that and
There's
how that
one in,
goes.
yeah, there's one in New Jersey. I don't know if it's Newark that uses it. And it was a registration for disabled folks. And then what we were working with them on was like expanding it to like folks that may be on the spectrum or may need additional support in an emergency. So I
Yeah.
wonder if,
So we're looking at, and he's been fantastic with it, as well as, working with Fearless for domestic violence victims, the homeless.
awesome.
So we're trying to, because a lot of times what happens is we'll have one officer deal with it, and then maybe a couple days later, something comes up again, it's a new officer. So this is gonna be kind of our constant in there, and instead of keep starting at step one, if we can get some steps in place now and we respond back again, we're that much better into it. And he's been successful in providing some services already to people who needed it.
That's great.
That's really good.
That registration could also support like evacuation planning, I imagine. So folks that, if you had it expanded to folks with mobility issues as well, is one of the things that I've been thinking about is the wildfire risk. And then, some of the issues that they had out in California where folks were not able to evacuate fast enough or they had mobility issues. And
Or
those-
flooding.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, flooding too. Yeah, definitely.
So it's just a couple of things we're developing.
That's
great.
awesome.
It's really good.
That's great.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
You don't have to stay
This
for
is
this
where I can sneak
entire,
out?
unless you really
It's a
love
quick
us.
meeting. I mean,
Yeah.
on
No.
the surface.
See you on Thursday.
He's got
Thank
police
you.
work to do.
Hi, thank you.
Okay. So that was our one bit of public, so I think we can move on to motions.
Number one, motion to authorize the mayor to execute the proposal from Barton and LaJudas DPC to provide professional engineering services for the preparation and submission of the village's 2026 New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant application in accordance with the July 2nd, 2026 proposal for a lump sum fee of $4,600. Funds are appropriated in budget code F.1440.4700.
Okay.
Second?
Do you want to explain the,
Okay, so the project is, again, this year is
Sorry.
the reservoir water storage tank project to replace the existing tank. And it's going to be 2 tanks that are slightly smaller that's going to increase our capacity there. We've submitted applications multiple times over the past few years. I think one of the encouraging things this year is they've added to the funding, so there's a bigger pool of money, and hopefully it will reach us.
does our, for the wastewater treatment plant, we were considered a community in need? so to
Right,
speak?
we should make sure that that same information is used
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
application, yeah. Good point, I hadn't thought of that.
Okay, so we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, motion to authorize the mayor to execute supplement number 2 with Barton and LaJudas DPC for additional engineering services related to the Maple Avenue Pump Station Improvement Project in the amount of $33,200, consisting of $6,600 for construction administration, which is lump sum, and $26,600 for construction observation, time and expense, in accordance with the July 2nd, 2026 proposal. Funds are appropriated in budget code H.8320.2000.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
3, a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign change order number 1 with J Squared Construction Corporation for the RWTP Reservoir Water Treatment Plant clear well pump replacement contract for the core drilling of 2 additional openings in the top of the clear well to accommodate the installation of the new pump suction pipes at a cost of $4,100 as recommended by Keith Woodruff of Engineering and Surveying Properties. Funds are appropriated in budget code G.1404.4700.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4, motion to approve payment request number 1 in the amount of $106,400 to Power with Prestige, Inc. for electrical construction work associated with the wastewater treatment plant upgrades project as recommended by the village engineer Barton and LaJudas. Funds are appropriated in budget code H.1440.200.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
5, motion to increase the hourly rate for seasonal Department of Public Works laborer James Quackenbush from $20 per hour to $21 per hour, effective retroactively to his first day of seasonal employment on May 4th, 2026.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to increase the hourly rate for seasonal Department of Public Works laborer Matthew Highland from $18 per hour to $19 per hour, effective retroactively to his first date of seasonal employment on May 18th, 2026.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to increase the hourly rate for seasonal Department of Public Works laborer Thomas DeLuca from $17 per hour to $18 per hour, effective retroactively to his first day of seasonal employment on April 4th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to grant permission to the Shared Roots Foundation to use Railroad Green on Sunday, August 30th, 2026 from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. with setup beginning at 11 a.m. and cleanup completed by 8 p.m. for the Mermaids on Main event. The request includes access to electricity, the use of a sound system and DJ, and the setup of tents and vendors for the duration of the event. A completed facility use permit and the security deposit have been received. Approval is contingent on receipt of proper insurance from Shared Root Foundation and any participating vendors. And they did reach out to me and let me know that they've already paid it and they're just waiting for it to come through.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Oh, second.
I had a question. Sound system and DJ, are you offering your
It's
service?
not me. No. We amended it so the village wasn't provided.
And in looking at the application, it didn't appear that they were asking for our sound system. They were going to have a DJ there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, have their own.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't, it's not
And
clear.
not closing the
The
green-
road,
yeah,
yes, yeah.
street, right.
Okay. Okay. So we have a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to appoint Denise Candela to the position of village treasurer effective August 10th, 2026 at an annual salary of $81,400 pursuant to Orange County Department of Human Resources pre-approval.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
We're on to number 10.
Number 10, yes.
Okay. Motion to authorize the village to accept the quote estimate from TAM Enterprises dated July 16th, 2026 in the amount of $28,560 to install one new national turbine pump to replace Pump 1 at the Village of Warwick microfiltration plant, including all new stainless steel drive shafts with couplings and spider bushings per the recommendation of HTO Innovation Senior Area Manager Michael Herbert. This is an emergency purchase. Funds are appropriated in budget code F.8330.4400.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And who wants to take this next one, the grant?
I'll take it. I'm a speedy reader.
Okay.
Whereas the Village of Warwick is seeking funding opportunities that advance a variety of local initiatives, including but not limited to community development and zoning updates, as well as improvements to municipal services. And whereas the 2026 to 2027 Smart Growth Community Planning Grant Program is available through the New York State Department of State to provide financial assistance for the development of municipal comprehensive plans to establish land use policies that support smart growth and clean energy principles for the community. And whereas the Village of Warwick Board has determined that applying for this grant is in its best interest of the Village of Warwick and its residents as it aligns with the village's strategic goals and objectives. And whereas that the Village of Warwick Board hereby authorizes and approves the submission of the 2026 to 2027 Smart Growth Community Planning Grant Program application to New York State Department of State for the purpose of securing funding to update the village's existing zoning documents, which comes at a total cost of $176,050. And whereas the New York State Department of State will fund up to 75% of the total cost of the project and requires a local match of at least 25% of the total project cost. And whereas the Village of Warwick is requesting grant funding in the amount of $132,037, which is 75%, and is committed to funding the remaining 25% of $44,013 through local funds. Be it further resolved that the village mayor is authorized to execute any and all necessary documents related to the submission of the grant application and to take all necessary actions to effectuate the intent of this resolution. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately on this 20th day of July, 2026.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Cheney?
Yes.
Trustee Foster?
Yes.
Trustee Calora?
Yes.
Mayor Newhart?
Yes.
Do you want me to do this one too?
Sure, but I just want to, I want to mention about, we have already started our public outreach. I should have thrown this before the, before we
Oh, I
voted
was
on
going to
it.
talk about I was going to talk about survey results during the
During,
report
okay,
out. So we could
perfect,
probably
okay.
do that.
No, you do that then. Okay, onward.
Whereas the Village of Warwick recognizes the importance of maintaining an efficient and effective justice system, and whereas the New York State Unified Court System offers the Justice Court Assistance Program, JCAP, to provide financial support to local justice courts for improvements and enhancements, and whereas the Village of Warwick Court seeks to enhance its operations and services to better serve the community, and whereas the Board of Trustees has identified potential projects and improvements that could be funded through the JCAP grant, and whereas the 2026-27 grant cycle presents an opportunity for the Village of Warwick Court to secure funding to support these initiatives. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Warwick authorizes the Village of Warwick Court to apply for a JCAP grant in the 2026 to 27 grant cycle up to $30,000. Be it further resolved that the clerk to the Justice Court is hereby authorized to execute any necessary documents related to this application and to take any actions necessary to fulfill the intent of this resolution.
Second.
Trustee Cheney?
Yes.
Trustee Foster?
Yes.
Trustee Calora?
Yes.
Mayor Newhart?
Yes. And that's it on motions this evening. Barry, do you have a report?
Yeah, a couple things. One, today we had a reportable incident at the wastewater treatment plant relative to the contractor who's working on the upgrade to the plant struck an underground line that was carrying effluent from the rotating biological contact units, and they were able to control it, contain it, clean it up. Nothing reached the Wayanda Creek.
Great.
And they fixed the pipe, and things are back to normal. So that's, but it is a reportable
Right.
incident. So if you see it reported on New York Alert or DEC's website, that's what it was all about.
Good.
So
Thank
they reacted quickly and did the right thing. So.
What, in terms of the process, is that Kathy that does the reporting, or how?
I believe Mike Mosier usually does it.
Okay.
It's a DEC a step you take with DEC to report it to
Right.
them, and then they release it to New York Alert, and that's when it, shows up on people's text messages and whatnot.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, so yes, it is, it's similar to, like an overflow we might have occasionally during
During
a storm
event,
event.
yeah. Okay.
And the second thing, on a much happier note, and lighter note, I received word that the Florida Little League major baseball team had a game tonight here in Warwick, and they won the game 5-2, and they are now the sectional champions of Little League, and they will be going on to, I believe, a regional competition, and then hopefully from there to the state competition.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They were under.
They beat Stony Point. Yes, they went. They went through their bracket. There were 5 teams, I believe, was in the bracket, and yeah, they came out undefeated all the way through.
That's great.
Wow.
Really great.
So,
Yes.
Congratulations.
congratulations to them.
Yeah,
And it's,
congratulations.
you know,
The
I'm
little-
really glad for them, but in order to get through the districts, they ended up having to beat Warwick twice.
Yeah, I know, really.
So that's
Preferred
a
it.
little bittersweet, but you know, they've got a great team. I saw them
Yeah.
play Friday night, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they've got an excellent team.
Yeah.
Good
well,
talent. They play the game well. They know they know the basics and the fundamentals, and they execute.
That's great.
So,
Yeah. Florida's the little village that could.
yes.
Okay. Carly?
Yeah, I'll provide 2 quick updates, and then I think you'll probably cover the Patriots path.
Yes,
Is that right?
I'll do that, yeah.
Over the last month or so, we've hired 4 interns to support the Safe Streets for All project. And they have assembled the plans for an outreach and engagement campaign. And so folks are going to begin to see a lot of activity around that. I think it's super exciting. They've started showing up at the farmers markets. They've been active on social media. And they're going to be doing also sort of physical media, like buttons and stickers to kind of raise awareness. And a lot of that is because over 3/4 of all of, and actually it's even higher than that, all of the crashes and injury-causing crashes in Warwick are caused by driver behavior-related issues. So whether they're inattentive, or there have been incidents of people drinking and driving, but also following too closely, speeding, things like that. So I think that's really quite exciting. And one of the things that has been specifically asked for by numerous residents is that we do kind of a letter campaign for local businesses and merchants. And so they're working on that. And so we'll be connecting with you, Mary, and also with the chamber to think about how to push that out. And then also our deputy clerk had assembled a draft survey to get feedback regarding the grant application that we just spoke about to update the planning and zoning code. And that has been shared numerous times, both by the village on social media, but also at the farmers market. And then numerous residents have been sharing it out. And we have over 300 responses to that survey, which I think is really exciting.
That's significant, yes.
Yeah, and about 50% of the people that have responded have lived in the village for more than 10 years.
Oh.
Which
good.
is great. And some of the questions that people have been asking, or that the surveys asked, we asked, what do you value most about the village? The vast majority of respondents said the small town character, as well as parks and open spaces, local businesses, historic downtown, and then walkability. So those were the top responses there. As the village updates its planning and zoning code, which goals are most important to you? Almost 80% of the respondents said preserving historic character. And then following that, environmental sustainability, which tracks with like the parks and open space, as well as management of traffic and parking and cars and infrastructure. And then as the village updates its building and planning code, which goals are most important to you? 80% said preserve the village's historic character, 60% said protect existing neighborhoods, 60% said protect natural resources, and then a little over 50% said support local businesses. So about 56% of folks said there's too much development happening within the village. The current pace of development they feel like is a bit too much, but also about 34% said about the right amount. So there's an interesting balance there. And then the greatest attention during this code update, about 50% folks said that we should focus on downtown and Main Street, and over 50%, so actually more, said we should focus on environmental protection.
Oh, great.
So that is really interesting. So there's lots of really wonderful comments as well, very thoughtful comments in here. And so we'll be sharing all of the outputs of that with the board, as well as, the folks that are working on the application.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jen.
Yeah, thanks a lot to Jen
Yeah.
for putting that together.
Good.
It's my
Thank you.
update.
Perfect. Mary.
Okay, our summer concert series has been well underway, and we're grateful to the folks over at Forge 28 to offer us an indoor venue in the case of weather, like happened this past weekend. And then coming up on August 8th, we are having a very special and fun event as our little nod to America's 250, which will be a community square dance, hoedown on the home court. And that'll be at 7 p.m. at the Stanley Deming Basketball Court. It'll be featuring the Richard Stillman Band, who is a square dance band, and Caller, who you may recall has played last year's Winter Wiggle. Everybody really loves him. He was a hit. There is no experience needed. So please come and join us for that, and there will be cake. A lot of cake.
A lot of cake. A beautiful cake.
A beautiful cake. So we'll see you there.
I just wanted to mention about this past concert, which got rained out. The weather was very iffy that night, but we were able to move it to Forge 28. And a lot of people don't know where Forge 28 is, so I just wanted to mention that. What's that?
I've been saying, the old Georgia Pacific.
The old Georgia Pacific plant,
You
yes,
speak
of
Old
course.
Warwick.
Yes, or where Melissa's dance studio
Yeah.
is. But it's past the firehouse on Church Street Extension, the large building that was formerly the Georgia Pacific plant, and it is a sound and video studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's just perfect. The acoustics were wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it was just great. It was great to have that facility, and hopefully we can use it in the future. I think people were amazed when they got there to see what was there, because many had never been over there. And so that's definitely very, very accommodating and great sound. So, and
Yeah.
it was a great band. It was a bluegrass, and they were
They were out of this world.
out of this world. Yeah, they were amazing.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they were so good.
Yeah.
But not only did Forge 28 donate their space for the evening, they also donated bottles of water to the band.
I didn't know
It's
that.
really generous. Yeah.
That's good. I just want to mention this morning, we had a press conference, and when I say we, it was actually Senator Skoufis that organized it, and we helped him organize it. But it was really wonderful because it is kind of the midpoint of a very large project that we're working on. We received $734,000 grant to design and to construct something called the Patriots Path, or we've called it the Patriots Path. And it has been a work in progress. We've been working with KAN Studio out of Kingston, New York, a woman-owned landscape architecture firm. And we've been working with a task force that has been just incredible. Mostly our veterans, but also some citizens, and and Carly is part of that. And it's been just a very interesting process. And what came out of it, I think, is pretty amazing. And the next level that happened was that we reached out to the high school and asked if there were some history students that could help us. And they just embraced that idea, even though it was a week before the end of school. Two of the teachers said, we think that we have such engaged students that they'll want to do this all summer long and they'll get credit. And she was correct. There are 15 students that have been working on doing research on different time periods, starting at the pre-colonial period all the way to the wars in Afghanistan and beyond, and everything in between. And also for people to get a sense of what we're doing is we're creating a pathway, but it's more like a journey. And the pathway really within the pathway are specific rooms that that are an era of or a period of time, and they are the display or how each era is depicted is through many factors, whether it's smell or a landscape or signage. It's just not a bunch of plaques and statues. This is very, I think, inspirational and educational simultaneously.
Immersive.
And immersive,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, everyone that's been working on it has really just been excited, and we still have a long way to go. We're hoping to break ground in the fall, and it was all because we reached out to Senator Skoufis, and he said, "Oh, that's a great idea." And how much do you need? So that was amazing, and we've kept him kind of in the loop. But one thing he said to me today was, there's nothing like this in New York State. This is amazing. This is such a unique idea, and people will steal this idea, of course, but we will be known for doing this project, I think, and I'm very proud of that. So, and we had, of course, our veterans at the press conference. There was a slew of them, which was wonderful, and Tom Brennan, as a representative, spoke, and he was spot on, as Tom can be, and Jesse Dwyer, Supervisor Dwyer, was there and spoke as well. But it was just a nice moment in time to say, wow, look what we've done, look what we've accomplished. And like I said, we have more to do, but I think it was great to have this kind of public show of the work that has been accomplished. So that's it. And that's all I have. But we do need to go into executive session, and if we have the magic sheet there, and it's
Should have this memorized.
the
by
bottom.
now. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to seek confidential advice of counsel.
Great. Do we have a second?
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. When we come back to our regular meeting, we will close the meeting, adjourn the meeting. We will not do any more business. Thank you.
They've really listened, the landscape architects.
They
They
did.
like really listened.
They really did.
And they took it. And
Yeah, and I think about that. I think like,